Josh has 1.5 pounds ground beef to feed 4 people for dinner. So let me highlight the information that I see. So we have 1.5 pounds ground beef to feed 4 people. He is making 1 hamburger per person. If all the hamburger patties are equal, how much will each one weigh before cooking? So each person is going to eat 1 hamburger. So we know that we're making 4 hamburgers out of 1.5 pounds of ground beef. So basically what we need to do is we are going to split or share 1.5 pounds of ground beef amongst 4 people. When you're thinking about sharing or splitting, that should make you think of division. We're dividing 1.5 by 4. Now, to take 1.5 and divide it by 4, I want you to change each of these to fractional form. So this mixed number is going to become an improper fraction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the 1 by the denominator, and I get 2. And then I'm going to add the numerator to that. And that 2 plus 1 is going to give me 3. That's the numerator. And then you keep the denominator the same as the original. To change 4 to a fraction, any integer, you just place it over 1 to make it a fraction. Then from here, to divide, we need common denominators. So look at the 1 and the 2 and think about the denominator that you could use. Well, if I find my least common multiple, or you could say least common denominator, I am just going to count by 2's, and then I'll count by 1's, and I hope you see that we can use 2 as our denominator. 3 halves already has a denominator of 2, so we'll leave that alone. And I'm going to change 4 over 1 so that it has a denominator of 2. So I write 4 over 1, then I write my new fraction with the new denominator, the denominator of 2, and then I think about what do I multiply 1 by to get to 2? Well, that would be 2. So a lot of people I'm seeing just they change the denominator and then they don't change the numerator. You have to also change the numerator. So I have to multiply the 4 by 2 as well, and it becomes 8. So now instead of 4 over 1, I'm going to record that as 8 over 2. So I replaced 4 over 1 with 8 over 2. The 3 halves portion remains the same. So now my problem reads 3 halves divided by 8 halves. I had a lot of people on the last test who were able to get to this point where they got a common denominator and then they got stuck. So what we need to do here is we need to divide the numerators and divide the denominators. Maybe start with the denominators, which is actually easier. 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. Think about it. 2 halves is equal to 1 whole. And then for the numerator, let me grab a different color. You're taking 3 and dividing it by 8. Well, if you take 3 divided by 8, you'll get a decimal. So I just want you to write that as a fraction. 3 divided by 8 is the same as 3 divided by 8. You can replace this division symbol with a fraction bar. And then 3/8 divided by 1 is equal to 3/8. Now this is a story problem, so let's think about the units. We took 1.5 pounds of ground beef and divided by 4, so now we have 3/8 pounds of meat per burger. So each burger is going to be 3/8 of a pound. So each person will get to eat a burger that has a size of 3/8 pounds before it is cooked.